Today we're going to talk about Ohm's Law. Ohm's Law describes how electricity flows through a circuit or through a conductor. And it's a really important relationship. It's actually pretty magnificent when you think about the elegance of this thing. Because everything about electricity flowing through a circuit can essentially be boiled down to this expression. V equals I R. That's fascinating. So we're going to start with the V part. In order to understand that, we got to understand what that term means. It's voltage. Okay, so we're going to start here with a symbol. And that symbol is some kind of voltage source. You can plug it into a wall, it could be a battery, it can be a lot of different things. And the way you draw, starting from here, that's a basic circuit, where you have a voltage source connected by some kind of conductor. Okay, so the voltage source here, what that is if you've got some kind of buildup of electrons here, and you've got a deficit of electrons here, the electrons are going to want to flow from one side of this thing to the other and balance themselves out. So the voltage source itself when it's self-contained, it's not connected, there's a potential there. And that's what voltage is. It's a potential it's a potential to do work. So it's an example of a potential energy. So anyways, when you connect the voltage source, the electrons flow all the way around the circuit to the positive side. The flowing electrons, that's what we call current. And we represent that with I. So some of the naming conventions, it's really hard to understand whenever we're talking about physical numbers and other things like that. I stands for current. I'm not exactly sure. It probably goes back to some kind of Latin word. But the flowing of electrons is what we call current. Now in every conductor, no matter what it's made out of, every single conductor impedes the flow of electrons. No conductor is perfect where the electrons flow from one side to the other without any kind of resistance at all. There's something there that impedes the flow. And we call that factor resistance. Okay, so that was really easy to understand. And when we're drawing circuits, that's the symbol for resistance. Right there, R. So voltage source V is going to be equal to the amount of current multiplied by the resistance. That's Ohm's Law. It's pretty easy to understand. And it's a really important relationship. And you can test Ohm's Law in the lab, and you're going to come up with something closely approximating this relationship. And what's going to make the difference is how you measure it. So, again, Ohm's Law starts with a voltage source. The electrons flow through the circuit, and they're impeded by some amount of resistance. And that relationship is mathematical. It's described as V equals I R.